Hey folks, welcome back to Masterpiece Security. You know, oftentimes when we think about how software is created, we think about developers sitting there writing code endlessly, over and over again, just writing these little bits of characters on a screen that eventually become software that gets running into a production environment. The truth is much more complicated than that. In reality, a lot of the software that is running in production is not actually hand-coded by a developer within an organization, but instead a bunch of different components and libraries that are pulled together to make one application. It's like stitching together a quilt using a lot of different pieces from different places. In this wonderful book called the Application Security Program Handbook, written by Derek Fisher, it says here that per Synopsys Open Source Security and Risk Analysis Report in 2020, 70% of an average application is made up of open source software. That's crazy to think that most of that software is just different open source components that are pulled together to make one large application. So how do we make sure that we protect that software? Well, you can run something like a software composition analysis program that will look to see whether there's vulnerabilities in those components that are being pulled together to make that application. Additionally, Sonatype says in the State of Software Supply Chain report from 2020, 1.5 trillion open source software components and containers will be requested by developers. That's a lot of software. So it's very important that we use tools like SCA in order to make sure that we know all the different vulnerabilities that could impact that 1.5 trillion open source software components requested by developers. Amazing to think about how software actually gets built. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed it. Remember, when I'm secure, you are secure.